In 51 AD, during his second missionary journey, the Apostle Paul traveled south through the Greek peninsula. His destination was Athens, the intellectual center of the ancient world, and home to the era's most prominent philosophical schools. Local thinkers eventually brought Paul to the Areopagus, a rocky hell that served as a public forum for debating new ideas and deities. Paul used this platform to address the crowd's assumptions about where a deity resides and how they interact with humanity. Standing near the massive temples of the Acropolis, Paul argued that God does not live in structures built by human hands. He pointed instead to the account in Acts 17:28, "For in him we live and move and exist." Under the new covenant, every believer is placed into this spiritual environment. They exist in Christ as a permanent reality of being made spiritually alive. However, the passage describes three distinct states. While existence is a fixed position, living and moving describe active participation. This suggests that the environment of Christ is a space we must learn to navigate through specific choices. The first of these choices is to abide. This functions like the relationship between a vine and its branches. Life-giving sap originates in the vine and moves through the branch to sustain it. A branch has no ability to generate its own resources. It is essentially a conduit, designed to receive and carry what the vine provides. When the connection is maintained, the vine's life naturally results in visible fruit. Abiding is the decision to stop trying to manufacture spiritual results and instead rely entirely on the life of Christ flowing through you. The second choice involves entering a state of rest. This stands in contrast to religious traditions that focus heavily on human effort and ritual. Spiritual rest describes an internal shift where a believer stops striving to become what they have already been made in Christ. This creates a unique effect on ministry. When self-effort is high, actual spiritual output remains low. But when a believer rests, output increases because Christ is doing the work through them. This removes the burden of trying to build the church through exhausting physical labor or trying to earn God's favor. When this rest is ignored, the resulting physical and spiritual exhaustion serves as a clear indicator of self-effort. The final choice is to learn. This positions the believer as a student who seeks revelation for their specific circumstances. This is often tested in difficult moments, like a situation where a person is facing hostile or hurtful speech from those they live with. In one such case, rather than reacting in the flesh, a believer was led to do nothing in the natural sense. By refusing to intervene with human effort, the person saw the situation resolve itself. They learned that Christ could provide a peace that their own reactions never could. Learning means looking for what Christ wants to reveal in every situation, rather than defaulting to our own logic. These choices connect back to the message Paul delivered to the philosophers at the Areopagus. Paul was inviting his listeners to move away from religious striving and adopt a different way of functioning in the world. Since the cross has already placed the believer within the environment of Christ, there is no need to work to reach God. Abiding, resting, and learning are the specific ways a believer allows that internal reality to manifest in their outward life. The only remaining task is to set aside self-effort and live from the position you already hold.